Ooh, I don't want that. Hi, Megan. Okay, so I'm doing a reaction video to Harry Potter theory. So it's a theory that Severus Snape is alive. He's not, or what? Not is alive, but like didn't die in the last book. And so there's three arguments as to why he's alive, and it's in an article on by Marie Claire. It's like a website, and so I don't agree with this theory at all. I hate Severus Snape. So I'm going to be reacting to it. I've already read it, but I'm going to so this is not like a raw reaction. I hope that's okay. Um, so I'm going to be giving my opinion, counter evidence, and my argument as to why all of this is wrong. So the theory is, what if Snape didn't actually die? Would you laugh, cry, grab us by the collar, and demand answers? Well, one Reddit user has a theory about the non-deceased state of Harry's potion professor, and it's good. No, it's not. Snape is alive and kicking. Here's the evidence. So, Exhibit 1 is Snape doesn't appear when Harry tries to summon him with the resurrection stone. Um, and then they say, you'd think Snape was very important to Harry. He loved his mother, gave his life to save him, and shielded him all his life, the theorist starts. So, when Harry was going into the forest, he was going to sacrifice his life. I don't think, for one, I don't think he really had a clear mind and was really thinking of everyone that mattered to him. And so I'm just going to continue reading. He said, Harry just found out how Snape had been protecting him the whole time and died to save him. So when he used the magic ring that brings the spirits of dead people, you'd think Snape would be here. He certainly knew Snape longer than Lupin, and you'd think Snape was far more important to him than Lupin. But Snape wasn't around. Perhaps he was not dead. I find that whole argument completely wrong. So when Harry used the resurrection stone, it brought back Remus, Sirius, his parents. Those are not the only people that have died that Harry cares about. Dumbledore was not there. Mad-Eye Moody wasn't there. I don't know if you can bring animals back, but Hedwig wasn't there. A lot of people died that Harry cared about that were not brought back by the resurrection stone. They used the argument that Harry just found out how Snape had been protecting him the whole time. But at that time, we don't know what Harry was thinking. For 7 years, since he met Snape, he thought Snape hated him and he hated Snape. He never had a good relationship with Snape. He had many bad ones. Potions class, how Snape treated him when he was teaching him I don't remember the word, but like to block Voldemort out of his brain in the 5th movie. So he's always had very bad experiences and a bad relationship with Snape. By seeing these memories and the pensive, that doesn't just cancel out 7 years of bad memories. So then the Reddit person said he certainly knew Snape longer than Lupin. Harry met Remus Lupin in the 3rd movie, or the 3rd book, and from the moment he met Lupin, it was a very good relationship. Remus never was not a harasser or a bullier like Snape was. Snape did not, from the very moment Snape and Harry met, Snape was not nice to him, and Snape attacked his parents. Even though Harry knew Snape longer, Harry's relationship with Remus was a lot more positive and a stronger, more caring, empathetic relationship. So then it says, is this enough to convince you? Absolutely not. Okay, Exhibit 2. Where's Snape's body after the Battle of Hogwarts? After the big battle, they lay out all the bodies, all the people who died, even the Death Eaters and Voldemort's. Harry sees Lupin and Fred's body. I don't like how they're calling him Lupin. Harry sees Remus and Fred's body, but Snape's body is not there. You'd think Harry would have told everyone about Snape's sacrifices so they can find his body too, but nope, Snape's corpse isn't found. So I'm kind of interpreting this as the Reddit user thinks that Harry has all of a sudden forgiven Snape and absolutely loves Snape. And I would think this, or other people would think this, is because Harry has named his son Albus Severus. But that's like 10 years, the epilogue is 19 years later, but he names his son Albus Severus almost 10 years later, assuming that this might be a reason as to why this Reddit user thinks that he forgave Snape so early. I don't think he did. I think it took a lot of time for him to come to terms with what happened, and to understand everything. So, sorry, that was kind of off topic, but you'd think Harry would have told everyone about Snape's sacrifice so they can find his body too. No. Harry just... Harry watched Snape be killed. Harry found out that Snape was a good guy, then went, sacrificed himself and got killed, saw Dumbledore, had to make the choice to come back again and not die, and then almost died again and then killed Voldemort. A lot just happened, and we don't even know the time frame, but I think it was a very short amount of time. I don't think Harry had time to come to terms with anything. I don't think Harry was even in the right state of mind. So to assume that he was looking for Severus's body, when I think that when he found out that his best friend's brother just died, that his father's best friend, his last living connection to his father and his mother just died, I don't think Severus Snape was on his mind. So I just don't think it's an accurate reason to think he's dead just because we don't see his body. And then Exhibit 3, why couldn't a potions professor save himself from Nagini's snake fang poison? Just think about it. Do you really think a potions master wouldn't have access to anti-venom? I think that's really ridiculous, and that's the dumbest argument in this whole thing. Snape did not just die from the venom from Nagini. First, Voldemort struck him with a spell. I don't know what the spell is. I don't think it was Avada Kedavra. Not because it wasn't. He was still alive. But immobilized him and hurt him really bad. And then Nagini attacked and used her teeth to puncture his neck and his whole body. So even if he had... this is so dumb. Even if he had anti-venom potion, it wouldn't have been enough to save him. Another thing is, so then it continues and says, do you think he wouldn't have prepared for the possibility that Voldemort's snake might turn on him? He was playing a dangerous role as a spy. Voldemort could turn on him at any moment. I think Snape would have obviously taken some kind of prophylactic antidote beforehand. No, this battle was bound to happen, but nobody but Harry, Ron, and Hermione really knew that battle was happening that night. And when Snape found out that Harry was in the castle, he fled in that same minute. He saw Harry presented himself, Severus drew his wand, and then McGonagall stepped in front of Harry, and they dueled, and then Severus flee. He did not have any time to go and pack his bags and get some anti-venom potion. I don't think that was even the first thing on his mind. Okay, that's all I have. I don't know if I did that right. I guess I'll just reiterate again if I didn't really give a good way. So Exhibit 1 was Snape doesn't appear when Harry tries to summon him with the resurrection stone. When he used the resurrection stone, it did not bring back every single person that died that Harry knew and cared about. Therefore, it's not an accurate representation. It's not an accurate source as to if Snape is dead or not, because just because he was dead doesn't mean that the stone would bring him back. And then I went into it before. And then the next one was where's Snape's body after the Battle of Hogwarts. And then so I'm just gonna go into it a little bit. Sorry. But Snape's body is not there. You'd think that Harry would have told everyone. I said I don't think that is a completely good argument because, first of all, they might not have found Snape's body because he was in the boathouse and nobody else died in the boathouse. So they might not have known to go there. Hermione and Ron were both heartbroken because Fred died. So they might not have thought to say, oh, let's find Snape's body, especially when everybody hated Snape. Harry might not have come to terms with what happened with Snape and his parents. So he was not ready to come to Snape's defense. Just because his body was there doesn't mean that he's alive. And then why couldn't a potions professor save himself from Nagini's snake fang poison? The snake fang poison was not the only thing that killed Snape, and it was not the leading cause. Voldemort struck him with a spell, and Nagini attacked him. So we don't even know if Nagini had venom, first of all. And if she didn't have venom, he probably would have died anyway because Voldemort wanted him dead. When Voldemort wants you dead, it's about a 90% chance you die if you're not Harry Potter. It's a 90% chance if you're gonna die if you're not Harry Potter. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna read this. Make sure I did everything. Create a reaction video. Okay. 2 points for creating a reaction video that includes examples from the original argument. 1 point for analyzing the evidence of the original argument. I think I did that. 1 point for reacting to discussing the rhetoric, tone, or style. So okay, sorry, I'll just go. I didn't really. So it's like persuasion. The Reddit user took very, very simple things and kind of threw it at the reader. So it's kind of like it was in your face the whole time. How did you not realize it? The Reddit user said his body wasn't there. Obviously, he's dead. He can defend himself with. He's a potions master. He can defend himself. Why wasn't Harry cared about him? He saved Harry basically. He cared about Harry. Why did he not come in the Resurrection Stone? So the Reddit user kind of asked these very basic and shallow questions to kind of take your brain, and your first reaction is to think, you're right. How did I not think of that? Why was his body not there? He can defend himself. Oh my God, he should have came back with the Resurrection Stone. Because when I first saw this, I was like, oh, you're right. And then I realized, no, there's so much more evidence. And so these statements aren't very strong statements. They're just very shallow and they're very weak statements. So I think that's kind of, but when you give weak statements and very shallow things, sometimes, like when you hide something in plain sight, it's kind of like trying to make you think that you're stupid for not realizing. So I think that's the kind of like persuasive technique that the Reddit user used. The tone of the article was kind of like Marie Carey. You can get the tone that she felt. She was very surprised, and she felt stupid for not realizing. She's mind blown. The weak persuasion worked because it made her feel stupid for not realizing. And then, yeah, I don't know if that's what you wanted for that 1 point. Maybe I'll get a 90. But I think it's okay. All right. Thank you, Megan. I'm not going to watch this over because I hate hearing my voice. See you on Friday.